Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is WireDogSec, back with another video for you guys. Today's video, we are inside of TryHackMe here. This is Advent of Cyber 2024 event. This is day number 4. Okay, now let's go down here and see what they're talking about. Task number 10, Atomic Red Team. Day 4, I'm all atomic inside. Now hopefully you're all having an awesome day today and ready to learn something. So let's go ahead and dive into it and check it out. The story. Sockmas is approaching, and the town of Wareville started preparations for the grand event. Glitch, a quiet, talented security Sockmas engineer, had a hunch that these year's celebrations would be different. With looming threats, he decided to revamp the town's security defenses. Glitch began to fortify the town's security defenses quietly and meticulously. He started by implementing a protective firewall, patching vulnerabilities, and assessing endpoints to patch for security vulnerabilities. Hey, he's already ahead of a lot of organizations out there. As he worked tirelessly, he left breadcrumbs, small traces of his activity. Unaware of Glitch's good intentions, the SOC team spotted anomalies. Logs showing admin access, escalation of privileges, patched systems behaving differently, and security tools triggering alerts. The SOC team misinterpreted the system modifications as a sign of an insider threat or a rogue attacker and decided to launch an investigation using the Atomic Red Team framework. All right, learning objectives. Learn how to identify malicious techniques using the MITRE attack framework. Learn about how to use Atomic Red Team tests to conduct attack simulations. Understand how to create alerting and detection rules from the attack tests. Connecting to the machine. Before we move forward, review the questions in the connection card below. So we'll need the VM today, your split screen, and then you can also log in directly using creds. Okay, I already started the machine. You can see here, show split screens already available. And let's go ahead. It says the VM has Atomic Red Team and Sysmon installed. This will allow us to emulate an attack using TTPs described in the MITRE attack framework. Detection gaps. While it may be the utopian dream of every blue teamer, we will rarely be able to detect every attack or step in an attack kill chain. That's absolutely correct. This is a reality that all blue teamers face. There are gaps in their detection, but worry not. These gaps do not have to be the size of black holes. There are things we can do to help make these gaps smaller. Detection gaps are usually for one of two main reasons. Security is a cat and mouse game. As we detect more, the threat actors and red teamers will find new sneaky ways to thwart our detection. We then need to study these novel techniques and update our signature and alert rules to detect these new techniques. Absolutely true. The line between anomalous and expected behavior is often very fine and sometimes even has significant overlap. For example, let's say we are a company based in the US. We expect to see almost all of our logins come from IP addresses in the US. One day, we get a login event from an IP in the EU, which would be an anomaly. However, it could also be our CEO traveling for business. This is an example where normal and malicious behavior intertwine, making it hard to create an accurate detection. Rules that would not have too much noise. Blue teams constantly refine and improve their detection rules to close the gaps they experience due to the two reasons mentioned above. Let's take a look at how this can be done. Cyber attacks in the kill chain. Before diving into creating new detection rules, we first have to discuss some key topics. The first topic to discuss is the cyber kill chain. All cyber attacks follow a fairly standard process, which is explained quite well by the unified cyber kill chain. And you can see it here. Initial recon, initial compromise, establish foothold, escalate privileges, and move laterally, maintain persistence. Sometimes you have to do this multiple times, depending on the level of access and accounts you get to, and then complete the mission. As a blue teamer, it would be our dream to prevent all attacks at the start of the kill chain, so even just when threat actors start their reconnaissance, we already stop them dead in their tracks. But as discussed before, this is not possible. The goal then shifts slightly. If we are unable to fully detect and prevent a threat actor at any one phase in the kill chain, the goal becomes to perform detections across the entire kill chain in such a way that even if there are detection gaps in a single phase, the gap is covered in a later phase. The goal is therefore, to ensure that we can detect the threat actor before the very last phase of goal execution. That's right, you have that layered defense or security in depth. All right, have multiple layers of tripwires out there to detect this kind of activity if they manage to break in to your organization. MITRE attack, a popular framework for understanding the different techniques and tactics that threat actors perform through the kill chain, is the MITRE attack framework. The framework is a collection of tactics, techniques, and procedures that have been seen to be implemented by real threat actors. The framework provides a navigator tool where these CTPs can be investigated. So be sure to go to the website, start checking them out. Check out the navigator tool as well. Here's a screenshot of it. You'll probably come across this at some point in your careers in cybersecurity. MITRE ATT&CK is very well known and well used out there. However, the framework primarily discusses the TTPs in a theoretical manner. Even if we know we have a gap for a specific TTP, we don't really know how to test the gap or close it down. This is where the atomics come in. Atomic Red. The Atomic Red Team Library is a collection of red team test cases that are mapped to the MITRE ATT&CK framework. The library consists of simple test cases that can be executed by any blue team to test for detection gaps and help close them down. The library also supports automation where the techniques can be automatically executed. However, it is also possible to execute them manually. Dropping the atomic. Mixkitty has a vague idea of what happened to the compromised machine. It seems someone tried to use the atomic red team to emulate an attack on one of our systems without permission, and that could be a policy violation right there, by the way, folks, so remember that. The perpetrator also did not clean up the test artifacts. Let's have a look at what happened. So running an atomic. McSkitty suspects that the supposed attacker used the MITRE ATT&CK technique T1566.001 spear phishing with an attachment. Let's recreate the attack emulation performed by the supposed attacker and then look for the artifacts created. All right, open up a PowerShell prompt as an administrator and follow along with us. Let's start by having a quick peek at the help page. Enter the command get help invoke atomic test and you should see the output below. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to right click on this and then run as administrator. Fire this bad boy up. And there we go. Let's see if we could possibly make this a little bit bigger here. Let's see. So properties, font, there we go. Let's see how 18 looks. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's go to, let's try 20. Okay, so I think we should be good with this. All right, so let's go ahead and get this ready to go. Get help, invoke atomic test. There we go. We got the same results as them. It says the help above only shows what parameters are available without any explanation. Even though most parameter names are self-explanatory, let us have a quick overview of the parameters we will use in this walkthrough. So you have parameter, explanation, and example use, dash atomic technique. This defines what technique you want to emulate. You can use the complete technique name or the TXXXX value to, value. This flag can be omitted and example use, invoke atomic test dash atomic technique, and then you have the technique signature there, or value, and then dash show details, shows the details of each test included in atomic red team. This is what it looks like. You have the show details brief, shows the title of each test, including atomic check prereqs, provides a check if all necessary components are present for the testing. All right, so be sure to pause the video and review all these down here, and we are going to continue on. Our first command. We can build our first command now that we know which parameters are available. We would like to know more about what exactly happens when we test the technique T1566.001. To get this information, we must include the name of the technique we want information about and then add the dash show details to our command. Let's have a look at the command we constructed. And this is what it looks like here. So let's go ahead and clear the screen with CLS, paste this in here. All right, there's a lot of stuff that just showed up here. This command displays the details of all tests included in the T1566.001 atomic. Okay, so you can go through here and review all these details here: technique, phishing, spear phishing, attachment, download macro enabled phishing attachment. It's a classic. This atomic test downloads a macro enabled document for the atomic red team. GitHub repository simulating an end user clicking a phishing link to download the file phishing attachment .xlsm and phishing attachment.txt are downloaded to the %temp directory, attack commands, PowerShell, etc., etc., etc. So you can see the rest there. So go to it, go ahead and review all this here, then come back, and we're going to continue on. The output above is clearly split up into multiple parts, each matching a test. Let's examine what type of information is provided in a test. We will use the test we want to run as an example. All right, so we got key value and description technique, phishing, spear phishing attachment T1566.001, the full name of the MITRE attack, technique that will be tested, atomic test name, download macro enabled phishing attachment, a descriptive name of the type of test that will be executed, atomic test number 1. A number is assigned to the test. We can use this in the command to specify which test we want to run. Okay, so be sure to review all these here, and we are going to continue on here. Phishing. Spear phishing attachment T1566.001 emulated. Let's continue and run the first test of the T1566.001. Before running the emulation, we should ensure that all required resources are in place to conduct it successfully. To verify this, we can add the -check prereq to our command. The command should look something like this: invoke atomic test. Then you have the value -test numbers 1 check prereq. So let's go ahead and do that here. Clear all this out. Paste. There we go. So it looks like it's good to go here. And it says this command will use the data included in the dependencies part of the test details to verify if all required resources are present. Looking at the test 1 dependencies of the T1566.001 atomic, no additional resources are required. Run the same command for test 2, and it will state that Microsoft Word needs to be installed as shown below. So let's go ahead and clear all this stuff out. And we're going to change this to number 2, like so. Okay, there we go. Not met. Word spawn a command shell, etc., etc. Word, Microsoft Word must be installed. Yep, same thing here. And let's see. Now that we have verified the dependencies, let us continue with the emulation. Execute the following command to start the emulation, and you should get the following output. So let's do that here. And if I could copy and paste correctly. Okay, there we go. All right, looks like we got the same output. Based on the output, we can determine that the test was successfully executed. We can now analyze the logs in the Windows Event Viewer to find indicators of attack and compromise. Detecting the atomic. Now that we have executed the T1566.001 atomic, we can look for the log entries that point us to this emulated attack. For this purpose, we will use the Windows Event Logs. This machine comes with Sysmon installed. System Monitor, or Sysmon for short, provides us with detailed information about process creation, network connections, and changes to file creation time. All right, Sysmon is way better than Windows Event Logs. Okay, it's like Windows Event Logs on steroids. To make it easier for us to pick up the events created for this emulation, we will first start with cleaning up files for the previous test by running the command, which is this here. So they added that dash cleanup at the end, as you can see there. Let's go and do that here. All right. Now that we will clear the Sysmon event logs, open up Event Viewer by clicking on the icon in the taskbar or searching for it. So we're going to click it down here. Navigate to Applications and Services. All right, Applications and Services logs. Let's see. It says Microsoft, then Windows, then Sysmon. All right, so once this loads up, going a little bit slow here. All right, so when that loads up, we'll go to that. This is on the left side or left-hand side of the screen. Right-click Operational on the left-hand side of the screen and clear log. Click Clear when the pop-up shows. All right, so let's see here. Click this drop down, and then we need to go to Microsoft, and then we need to click Windows, and there's a lot of stuff in here. We're gonna scroll down to Sysmon, all the way down here. There it is. Operational. Okay, there we go. And then clear log. Let's go ahead and clear everything out. Okay, now it's empty. Now that we have cleaned up the files in the Sysmon logs, let us run the emulation again by issuing the command here. So just going to copy and paste again. Clear all this out. Okay, it's running. Done executing. All right, so we're going to go back to event viewer here. Next, go to the event viewer, right click on operational, log on the left side of the screen, click on refresh. So let's do that here. And there's refresh. Now we got a bunch of stuff in here. So there should be new events related to the emulated attack. Now sort the table on the date and time column to order the events chronologically older or oldest first, sorry. And let's see here. Okay, that was already, yeah, it was already set, so I'm gonna click it back. Okay. And let's see here. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's see here. The first two events of the list are test that atomic executes for every emulation. We are interested in the two events that detail the attack. First, a process was created for PowerShell to execute the following command. So PowerShell.exe and URL equals the following here, invoke web request, yada yada yada. Then a file was created by with the name phishing attachment. So let's see. I'm gonna see if I could just open this in a bigger screen here. Sure. Let's do this. Okay, let's minimize this here. This might be easier to navigate. So let me scroll all the way back down. Okay. All right. So there we go. Okay. Awesome. All right. So we got to go through and then take a look at everything. You can take a look at general. You can take a look at the details area here. All right. Ooh, what happened? Okay. Let me resort this again. All right. So there we go. The general and yeah, network connect, atomic administrator, file create rule. Here it is, phishing attachment. You see another one here. All right, let's flip back over. Click on each event to see the details. When you select an event, you should see a detailed overview of all the data collected for that event. Click on the Details tab to show all the event data in a readable format. Let us take a look at the details of the events below. The data highlighted is valuable for incident response and creating alerting rules. So, as we just saw in there, we can click on this the Details tab and see it's a better take a better look at these logs here. Okay, if we go back to this one here, we can see everything here. All right. So yeah, you can see everything that it did. Okay. And let's get out of this here. All right, it says navigate to the directory, user, admin, administrator, app, temp, and open the file phishing attachment.txt. The flag included is the answer to question number one. Make sure to answer the question now, as the cleanup command will delete this file. Okay, let's go and do that real quick. Let's go and plug this in. Okay, there it is. And there's what we need here. So let's go ahead and copy this and put this in as question number one. Okay, scroll back up here and let's continue on. Let's clean up the artifacts from our spearphishing emulation. Enter the command here. All right, so I'm going to copy and paste as usual. And let's close out of all this stuff. Okay, I'm just going to minimize that and then go back here, clean up everything. Okay, CLS, and let's continue on. Now that we know which artifacts were created during this spearphishing emulation, we can use them to create custom alerting rules. In the next session, we will explore this topic further. Right, so be sure to go through and take a look at these events that were inside the event viewer here. Okay, go through, take a look at everything that happened. Make sure to get familiarized with the IOCs or potential IOCs in there. All right, so that in case you end up using this tool in your environment, or maybe you experience the real deal in your environment, you can know what this malicious activity or suspicious activity appears to be. All right, let's get out of this and continue on. Okay. Alerting on the atomic. In the previous paragraph, we found multiple indicators of compromise through the sysmon event log. We can use this information to create detection rules to include in our EDR, which is endpoint detection response, SIM, IDS, etc. These tools offer functionalities that allow us to import custom detection rules. There are several different detection rule formats, including Yara, Sigma, Snort, and more. Let's look at how we can implement the artifacts related to T1566.001 to create a custom Sigma rule. Two events contain possible indicators of compromise. Let's focus on the event that contained the invoke dash web request command line, which is this here. Okay. And we can use multiple parts of this artifact to include in our custom Sigma rule, invoke web request. It is not common for this command to run from a script behind the scenes. URL equals the following here. Attackers often use a specific malicious domain to host their payloads, including the malicious URL in the Sigma rule could help us detect that specific URL. Phishing attachment.xlsm. This is the malicious payload downloaded and saved on our system. We can include its name in the Sigma rule as well. Combining all these pieces of information in a Sigma rule, it will look something like this. So you have the title of it, detection or detect, PowerShell invoke web request, and file creation of phishing attachment.xll. Blah blah blah. Detect or description of it detects the usage of invoke web requests, etc., etc. Status, experimental, author, TryHackMe, log source category. You can see the rest there. So be sure to go through and review everything in there because this is exactly what a detection would look like. Okay. The detection part is where the effective detection is happening. We can see clearly the artifacts that we discovered during the emulation test. We can then import this rule into main tools that we use for alerts such as EDR, SIM, XDR, and many more. Okay, and let's go ahead and continue on. Now that Glitch has shown us his intentions, let's continue with his work and run an emulation for ransomware. Oh boy, sounds exciting. Let's go ahead and take a look at this challenge. As Glitch continues to prepare for SOCMAS and fortifies Wareville security, he decides to conduct an attack simulation that would mimic a ransomware attack across the environment. He is unsure of the correct detection metrics to implement for this test and asks you for help. Your task is to identify the correct atomic test the correct atomic test to run that will take advantage of a command and scripting interpreter. Conduct the test and extract valuable artifacts that would be used to craft a detection rule. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Then, of course, we're going to answer these questions down here. What attack technique ID would be our point of interest? Attack subtechnique ID focuses on Windows Command Shell. The name of attack test to be simulated, etc., etc. So go ahead and try to figure these out yourself. Then come back to the video, and we will continue on, of course. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Be sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Once you subscribe, be sure to hit that notification bell. All right, so you know every time I post a new video. As you can see here, most people that view my videos, view my channel, are not subscribed. Now, if you do subscribe, it will help me get into the YouTube algorithm so that we can continue to grow our glorious community here. As always, thank you all for taking the time to watch. Have a nice day and enjoy the video. All right, hopefully y'all are able to go through and find everything here yourself, but let's go ahead and take a look. What is the attack technique ID? Would be our point of interest. So we're gonna have to navigate over to the MITRE attack page here. Okay, you're gonna go through and select techniques, enterprise, which I've already done. Okay, enterprise techniques, and then it said that we are looking for a was it the command interpreter? Yeah, a command and scripting interpreter. So gonna go through here and try to find that information. So we type in Control F, if I can spell. There we go. Command and scripting interpreter. Okay, right there. You can see the ID over here on the side. All right, there's sub techniques here, PowerShell, and you see the rest there. So let's click back over. We're gonna plug that in here, T1059. All right, so that's the ID. Now we need to take a look at the sub techniques. Okay, so that's the next one. What attack sub technique ID focuses on Windows Command Shell. All right. And if you go through and read, you can see that it says here, Windows Command Shell. So that's going to be this one here, this .003. Okay. So you can click there to find out some more information about what's going on here. Next one, it says that what is the name of the atomic test to be simulated? All right, so we're going to need to go back to the box here. And remember, we can use the dash show details information. Okay. And that should pull up a lot of info about this particular um, atomic that we want to run here. So I scroll too far here. But anyway, so you're going to go through and review everything in here. Now, the one you're going to look for here is going to be this here, Command and Scripting Interpreter Windows Command Shell .003, atomic test name, simulate black byte ransomware print bombing. Now, remember it said that we need to do something that will simulate ransomware, right? So as we saw up here, that would mimic a ransomware attack across the environment. So that's the one that we're looking for. And it's going to be the simulate black byte ransomware print bombing. Next one says, what is the name of the file used in the test? So if we go back over here, take a look in here, you can see where it says commands with inputs. So you're going through here and you can see that's going to C, tools, atomic red team, etc., etc., etc. Wherever underscore ransomware.txt is what the file is going to be called. All right. Okay, now time to get the flag. What's the flag found from this atomic test? Now let's go ahead and run this. So remember, it's going to be number 4 we need to run. So let's go and clear all this stuff out. Okay, and we need to use the test numbers 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and type that in. Okay, now it's running. Okay, it's done. There's the prompt. Sure. Let's do test, I guess. All right, and that might be it. Let's go ahead and minimize all this stuff here. And let's just take a look at this. See if it loads. There we go. And there's the flag. All right. So that should wrap up this particular area here. If I can copy this out. Okay. All right. And get rid of this. Bam, we are done. So let's learn more about the Atomic Red Team via the linked room. So check that out if you're interested in learning more about Atomic Red Team. That wraps up this particular task in day number 4 of Advent of Cyber event. Now, be sure to check the description box in case I add any additional resources for y'all to check out. It can only help you in the long run, all right? Also, if you enjoyed the video, enjoyed the information shared in the video, you like the channel, the content, etc., hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here so you know every time I post or upload a new video to the channel. Share with your friends. Get involved with this event. It's a good event and you can win various different prizes. All right. Now, thank you all for taking the time to watch my video. Have a nice day and I will see you in the next one. And be on the lookout for those additional hints, etc., for that side quest event that's going on as well. So don't forget about that.